and welcome to a long gestating but alas ultimately fruitless edition of Ben's Junk. Say it ain't so, Benny. But yeah, this is going to be one of those rare times where I can't really demo the item. And indeed, this is truly falling into a weird zone as far as these videos of mine go. So let me explain this a bit before I get to any of this stuff at all. In the earlier years of the Archive's Patreon page, one of the potential perks for the real high-rolling donors was a by request Ben's Junk video. And I would partially use the money from that to buy whatever item. It wasn't exactly a great business model. But anyway, I did get a few of them, and this is the last of them. This has been sitting in queue for over 4 years now, largely due to lack of potential equipment to test it on and just me not really knowing what to do with it. But today we're going to look at a little something that I call the CueCat. Now, the actual spelling is, well, it's two ways. It's either :CUECAT or :CUE::CAT. But I don't know how to pronounce a colon, so we'll just call it the CueCat, shall we? Anyway, yes, here's our piece of rather ornate junk mail that somebody, for some strange reason, held on to. Somebody was a hoarder, and indeed, I censored the address, just in case that person is A, still alive, and B, still at that address, so no unintentional doxing happens here. But this company, Digital Convergence, made quite literally millions of this little device they called the CueCat, because they couldn't pronounce the colon either. And how appropriate for a paid Ben's Junk that it's a capitalist cat. So anyway, before I even get to this, the basic gist of this is a barcode scanner. And their idea was that you've got a computer mouse. Well, now you can have a cat, computer cat, to go with it. How clever. So I'm really not sure what the logic behind this was, but Digital Convergence was first and foremost in the marketing game, and then secondly, technology. So in this case, they were trying to build some excitement for the CueCat here by, in this case, sending out to either Forbes subscribers or people they thought might want to subscribe to Forbes magazine, this thing where you could scan a barcode and maybe win a new Jaguar if you prefer. And alas, I am not a winner, largely because the contest ended back in November of 2000. So anyway, let's go ahead and reopen this already very decrepit box, and I'll do my best to discuss this a bit, but really I'm kind of making this video in hopes that maybe LGR sees this. I could absolutely see Clint doing an Oddware, if not a Tech Tales for this, and I think would be far more qualified because we're really pushing my knowledge of computers and just the late period .com era, .com bubble era, really, to discuss this properly. But anyway, let's just kind of go through the box here. We'll take this as it comes. That sounded dirty. Anyway, we got a CD-ROM that came with it, and the name of the CueCat technology was CRQ. Hardy har har. And I have no idea what the significance of the cat with the glasses and the can of cola is. A colon, perhaps, if we're going to run with that joke. So anyway, unfortunately, this website is no more, because Lord knows I have more questions than answers with this thing. But anyway, we do have something resembling a manual, but it's really not all that helpful. But anyway, your CueCat, you would scan these barcodes, and in this case, you would see if you won your new car, which, yeah, obviously I have no way of testing that at this point. But yeah, it was, as it turns out, a very early bit of spyware, a very early bit of data mining. So the idea was that you could use the CueCat on any barcode, not just the specialized CueCat barcode seen here with the company or brand logo, however you care to look at that. But what it would do was, and you could even scan the side of a can of soup if you wanted to. And say it was a can of Campbell's soup, it would take you to the Campbell's website. But the big idea was that it would send data back to Digital Convergence, and they would collect info on you, and they would use it for marketing purposes. So really, this was just a way of perpetuating more junk mail. I've seen some promotional material where they're talking about increasing engagement for advertisers, but I just can't imagine much of anybody wanting to use this. For one, I've got the rest of the parts down here, and I think the prices for the Forbes subscription are a tad outdated at this point. But you could also hook this sucker up to your TV. But at its simplest, on this first model at least, you could hook it up to your computer, internet connected, of course, dial-up back then, with PS2 connectors, or a PS2 connector. This is actually a splitter, so you could you still hook your keyboard to it and not lose a port, so to speak. And as it turns out, since I've only got laptops from this period, I don't really want a desktop just for storage reasons, but it can actually, your computer will likely interpret it as a keyboard, and it might shut down your actual keyboard on, in my case, the laptop, and it's done that to me in testing. But rather amusingly, you could allegedly hook this up to your TV. We have a very funky splitter here, and I did try this out. Let me see if I can find the appropriate bit of the manual here, and if I remember, I'll scan this and put it up properly on screen. But you could allegedly hook up your CueCat to the TV, and there were plans at least to have CueCat barcodes on screen, and you could have everything hooked up to your TV, or your computer rather, and go to whatever company's website. It just sounds way overly complicated to me, and yeah, I just can't picture this working. And really, as far as I know, nobody ever did do any TV commercials with the CueCat barcodes.
This June, Convergence is finally here. NBC is using the programming muscle of its biggest shows, partnering with Digital Convergence to create a mega TV internet promotion for the 21st century. When you hear this sound and see this symbol, your computer will take you directly to the game. Just sit down and you're ready to play.
As close to notoriety as this whole thing got was the Radio Shack catalogs of 2001 and 2002. And there's a whole website of those, so you can go look that up, and they are in there. But, yeah, I've really found myself kind of scratching my head with this whole very concept, and I can see why this failed so spectacularly. And indeed, the CueCat and Digital Convergence is really kind of a tale of hubris. In looking this up, I have found that what the hacker community was doing with these things was they were opening them up and cutting certain pins on them to jailbreak them, or housebreak perhaps might be a little better joke there. And you could just use it as a regular old barcode scanner for whatever general purpose thing. So, yeah, they were very liberal with the cease and desist orders, and I did find one online, and I'll cut it in here if I haven't done that quite yet. And it's just utterly baffling. And perhaps unsurprisingly, the company closed in the summer of 2001. Now, by the time 01 rolled around, they had come up with a second edition of the CueCat, this time with USB. Now, I do have, as I mentioned, a laptop with the appropriate ports, and I tried it, and I was able to get a loose proof of concept with it, but that was about it. But you can actually buy, this is actually one of the, I'm going to call it a housebroken CueCat. You can still buy these things. There is a company that's CueCats.com, and for $8 or $9 you can get a jailbroken, to avoid the joke, CueCat. Now here's the rub. Even though you can still get this stuff as of my making this in 2024, you can't really do much of anything with it. I have found open source software and stuff, but it's all pretty old and only works on older machines. I think the most recent I got was 2012. Well, it does work out that I've got a MacBook that's from 2011, but I can't take that thing online. But I was able to plug this in to that computer, and I was able to, at the very least, get it to do something. So when I bought the, if you will, the hacked CueCat, it came with this little slip of paper. And if you were to scan the barcode, and it, boy, is it persnickety. You have to be right along the bottom of the code there. It would, in the case of my MacBook, it would alphabetically take the closest thing to the word hello on your desktop. So what I did was, just in the name of testing, I just created an empty folder and called it hello. And when I scanned the barcode here, it took me straight to that particular folder. And as I was playing with it, I decided to make 3 folders. One with just the letter H for the name of the folder, HA, and hello. And as I found, when I would scan it, I put the 3 folders right in a row. It would very quickly scan across those 3 and land on the hello folder that I made. So as far as any real use that I could get on this, what I was able to do was open TextEdit in the Windows, my oldest Windows laptop, and my second oldest one actually now. And I would be able to, again, in TextEdit, so just the plain text program, scan this and it would write out the word hello very quickly. So what I did from there was, I figured, well, I've got a bunch of stuff with barcodes from different time periods and stuff. I'm just going to grab those and see what happens. So I only keep a precious few audio CDs here in this little room that I make these videos in. But I just grabbed them. So like the Byrds Greatest Hits, I tried to scan that. And it indeed punched in the numbers, but no further info. But I guess if I were really ambitious, I could sit there and write out the album title and all that and keep a running record of what I own. And that would take me years to write. I don't wish to do that. If there was an automated way to do that, I'd be okay with it. But yeah, I could see it for maybe an insured record collection, just for something simple. But yeah, I tried every bit of software I could find, open source software, and just none of it quite worked, or it was internet dependent. And, you know, at this late a date, it's just not going to work. I can't take my 2011 MacBook online anymore, not safely anyway. So anyway, in my searches with this stuff, I did find some college textbooks with CueCat stuff, but this is where it truly failed. So usually kind of tucked away in the chapters, you'd have these little mini articles with a CueCat barcode. And what would I get when I scan it? The number 18. Or just a circle, or just a random nonsense. So yeah, unfortunately, finding something recent enough to where I could still take it online was a big part of the problem. But I don't know how I'd be able to get it to communicate, because there would have to be, I don't know much about barcodes, but there would have to be something in there to communicate back and forth with and take you to that web page. And even if it was an old defunct thing, it wouldn't know to take you to, say, the Wayback Machine at archive.org. So I'm just at a loss with this one, but hopefully you're finding this little mini rambly story somewhat amusing, or have found it, because I don't have any more story to tell with this one. So to close out this episode, there were some very amusing test videos and instructional videos on the CD-ROM. So I guess I'm going to end this one with kind of a found footage fest styled montage, and I guess if I remember to ultimately, especially if I can find a way to do it semi-neatly, post these videos in their entirety to Archive Annex. And otherwise, that's really all I could do with this one. This is the result of over 4 years of chipping away at this madness. So anyway, yes, I really hope that a real proper computer, true tech YouTuber sees this and maybe sees where they can take it. But I've officially run headfirst into my limitations with this stuff because I am not really a computer geek. This is a little bit out of my wheelhouse. But yeah. I'm going to stop rambling here. I'll leave you with some choice moments from the videos on here, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Hi, I'm Steve Forbes. For over 80 years, Forbes magazine has been committed to bringing readers essential, vibrant editorial content with a distinct point of view. That's why I'm delighted to introduce you to another Forbes first. As websites become more complex, some with hundreds of pages, they are increasingly difficult to navigate. Inside, you'll find a cat, a CueCat. You'll use it to scan a special cue in an article or ad which takes you to the specific web page you want. The CueCat. It's a capitalist tool.
What else can a CueCat do? You'll be amazed. With just one swipe, you can enter the Swipe a Jaguar sweepstakes, including the grand prize, which could be your dream come true. A 2001 Jaguar S-Type. Watch closely.
Welcome to the most unique, exciting, and innovative software installation you have ever experienced. Imagine being able to use your television, radio,
newspapers, magazines, catalogs, books, compact discs, even a soda can,
to take you directly to web pages on your PC instantly. No need to try to remember hard URLs or search through cluttered websites. Did you know that it's also incredibly simple to let your PC hear, too? That's right. The same software that lets your CueCat read any of the codes we've mentioned also lets your computer hear special signals transmitted in TV programs, over the radio, embedded into CDs, practically anything you listen to. Imagine watching a travel program about Egypt, and when the camera enters the tomb of King Tut, you see this icon on your TV screen. That's a cue, and when you CRQ, get it? CRQ, and hear this sound, the CRQ software instantly brings up a web page on your PC that details all the treasures found inside. This is the Digital Convergence privacy policy. I happen to think it is the best in the business, providing great security and comfort for you. For example, Digital Convergence will never sell your name or email address without your express permission. The creators of this software dislike junk mail as much as you do. See something you want to buy in that catalog? One swipe and you're a click away from purchase. Want to get the warranty information on that VCR of yours? You guessed it, swipe! First off, how old are you? As I mentioned earlier, registering with Digital Convergence does more than give you the activation code you need to run the software. It also makes you a member of the Digital Convergence community, and as a member, you are privy to the ultimate web experience. It also qualifies you to be on our priority list for free gifts, big discounts, monthly specials, and coupons. You will receive these offers just for using our technology. But what if the deals we send you were more targeted to your shopping needs? If you let us take up a little more of your time and answer a few more questions for us, we will make sure that you get the offers that are most appropriate to you and your family. Not a bad trade, if I do say so myself. As you watch a newscast, a Cue can deliver live weather tracking or the up-to-the-minute stats for every player on your favorite team. Information that a television broadcast once had no time for can now be sent directly to your PC for you to study as closely as you like, at your leisure, either during or after the broadcast. Take a look at this. It's called a convergence cable. If your CD came without a cable, see if you have one around your house. Or you can easily pick one up at any Radio Shack nationwide. Notice the pair of plugs on one end. The one with the point coming out of it is called the male connector. The other is called the female. Next, locate the audio output jack on your television. The audio output jack looks like this, and may be located on the back or front of your TV, depending on the model. Be careful here, do not use the speaker output terminal. If you already have something plugged into your audio output jack, simply remove it and set it aside for a moment. Slide the male connector on the convergence cable into the plug on your TV. Then, pick up the female connector from the convergence cable and connect the cable you removed from your TV to the female connector. Your audio equipment will operate as before, but now your PC can listen at the same time. All that's left is to connect the convergence cable to your PC. Watch this. It is really pretty amazing.